Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Nerd Locker, a place for inner nerd. My name is Brandon.
And I'm Jasmine.
And this is episode 39.
This week we're going to talk about Green Lantern, the Oscars, and the new Superman movie.
So let's get to it. This is a spoiler, so if you do not want to have anything ruined about the Dark Knight Rises movie, just move forward a couple minutes, because I don't want to ruin this for you.
I do.
This is something I called a while back, and it's cool that it happened. Liam Neeson was spotted on set of The Dark Knight Rises this week.
Now, if you guys don't know how important that is to The Dark Knight and like the whole overall story, I don't know what the fuck you're doing on Nerd Locker right now, and you need to go watch Batman Begins and get with it.
Just get your
It's
history
fucking awesome.
down.
I saw this coming a long time ago.
Yeah,
you know, they interviewed him and he said, "There's no way I'm being in this movie," and I laughed at that very moment.
You knew.
He is gonna be in it, and for those thinking that this may be just another one of Nolan's, little ploys that he does, I don't think so.
Well, it's because when he did Dark Knight, he actually had a blonde on set that was in scenes, like it looked like she was getting ready to be filmed, and everyone thought it was Harley Quinn, and then it turns out she wasn't even billed on the cast list. You know, she wasn't
there.
Yeah.
It was a decoy.
So I was thinking that originally, but it would make a lot of sense, and it would make a lot of people happy to see him come back if you're including the Lazarus Pits.
Yeah, I really like, it was kind of confirmed for me, kind of like, okay, this is going to be a Ra's al Ghul movie again, like he's going to come back. When we kind of had the rumors of the Lazarus Pits.
And if they were
going
to use a ploy, I kind of think it would be a kick to the nerd's groin if they decided to use Liam Neeson. Because having the Lazarus Pit in the movie and then kind of just using Liam Neeson as a distraction.
Yeah, it's like really
totally wrong.
doing that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, but
get us way excited.
It's still awesome.
Everything about this is incredible, and they just started their
viral campaign.
Oh
Finally.
My God!
Already it's getting crazy. Test subjects are needed, so
you go through. If you go to the website, which
I went,
it was amazing. It's kind of just
it was so cool.
Throws some random things in your head and tries to get what you are first thinking throughout the survey, and then at the end, it tells you that by entering all your information, it will be sending you an ID card. Which I don't know if that means we're just getting a whole bunch of trash, about the movie or something. Or we actually get an ID card. What could it mean?
As soon as it asked, like you got through the test, and it was cool because you go to the thing and it says start, and you hit it and it just automatically goes full screen. And I actually like jumped back a second, I'm like, what the hell is this? You answer the questions, and then I remember it said, only fill out your phone number and address and email if you want to be sent updates. So I gave him my social and
of course,
like
I gave him my bank account information.
I did everything.
I gave him my bank account information. I will gladly pay for this information.
So will I. We're going to keep you up to date on this. If you guys have any more information about the online viral campaign going on, please let us know in the comments, and be sure to check back for more news. All right, so more news for the new Superman movie coming out. It looks like Russell Crowe is going to be cast as Jor-El, Superman's Kryptonian father. I'm really excited so far with all these names coming out. You got Kevin Costner as Pa Kent, and Diane Lane as Ma Kent, and I think this is going to turn out well. Also, just because Christopher Nolan's involved.
Yeah, that's probably what's giving me the most hope for it. But every time I hear Russell Crowe, I just kind of think of like Tugger the Tugboat and like him throwing phones at maids. Like I can't get over it.
I still see him doing a good job with this, though. I can
totally.
see him. I just think this is going to be a better Superman movie than we've been given in the past.
I do too. If Christopher Nolan wasn't attached to it, I would be a lot.
Especially
more
just
weary.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah, because I'm not a huge Snyder fan. Like his movies are good. 300 was amazing, but Sucker Punch didn't really do it for me. But the soundtracks are always really good. So that's kind of what like steers me towards them, but for the most part, I don't think that they were that amazing.
Yeah.
So.
See, I've never been blown away by a Zack Snyder movie.
Me
Like
neither.
I found him to be interesting, but I've never been, just life changed.
Oh my gosh.
But like I said, my whole everything with this movie is because Christopher Nolan's attached. So be sure to check back with more updates.
Yeah.
In Green Lantern news, it is not doing too well in the theaters. 53 million in the opening weekend. They were expecting around 55 to 75, but that is a very, very low-end result. So that's pretty sucky.
On one hand, I'm not surprised because everyone was so afraid of the graphics that it doesn't surprise me. However, my biggest issue with the fact that it didn't do so well is that it's a better movie than First Class. And First Class opened to much better numbers. So it kind of depresses me because a lot of people are sort of hating it a lot more than I think they should. But I think it's because it was such a separate entity that no one knows a lot about the Green Lantern as opposed to X-Men or Thor, especially on an international level, being that obviously like there's the whole Norse mythology of Thor, and there's been way too many X-Men movies, so.
Everyone knows about those characters, not too many know about Green Lantern, so we're not exactly hoping for too much internationally. But we were kind of hoping that this movie would do better because of them dumping a whole bunch of more money into it after the fact.
Yeah.
So I thought it was good. I thought it was really good.
I thought it was better than I thought it was gonna be bad. Like just horrible and awkward looking and just campy. But you know what? About midway through, I was just like, am I really enjoying this? And I was like, I really, really am. Like, there's enough little digs for fanboys, but there's also enough humor for people who haven't seen it. And they explain everything so well in this movie. Like, they cram a lot in, and it doesn't seem like they're cramming it.
And they, you know, there were a lot of inconsistencies, agreed. But if we can be so forgiving for X-Men First Class, which again was a great movie, but we went in there already knowing that we were going to have to forgive a lot. And we expected it, we accepted it, and we moved on. But we can't, so many people had a low expectation for Green Lantern, but only graphically. And I feel like if they would have thought about the storyline, maybe they wouldn't hate it so much.
I feel like there was so much more that you have to forgive about First Class. So much more. As opposed to Green Lantern, really my only issue was a few cartoony parts, and the constructs, for me, didn't make as much sense as they should have. But other than that, it was a pretty good movie, especially for a comic movie. So, I mean, I think people should lighten up.
In a final point, I just definitely think that people shouldn't talk so low of it because it'll stop more viewers from seeing it, meaning that we won't get a second one.
Or a
so
Flash
at least
movie.
go see it because it is very good, and just have your own opinion.
And also, being that this movie didn't do well, The Flash might never come to fruition now because obviously we talked about it last week. Warner Bros. Really wants to fill that void of Harry Potter movies with DC movies, which would be awesome and great. But if we're not going to give Green Lantern a chance, then why would they give, say, The Flash a chance, or
Wonder Woman,
or Justice League movie? Or there are tons of characters. They could do a good Jonah Hex movie as opposed to the crappy one they put out. There are so many ways you can go, so many different directions you can go with DC movies, you know?
And they're so hesitant when things go bad that they pull back, and it's another 5 years before we hear more news.
Exactly.
So we keep talking about Green Lantern this way, and they're going to pull out.
And it will be much easier to do a lot of other movies because there's nowhere near as much special effects, so there's a much lower budget. Like the same thing, this is why I think Captain America is going to be a good movie, because visually they have to do a lot less than Thor had to, than X-Men had to. So it's a much easier movie to make, and being that it's simpler, it'll be easier to take in. They can do the exact same thing with tons of DC stories. So don't write it off so fast. Go see Green Lantern and actually think about it before you just say, oh, it looks kind of cartoony or it looks kind of bad. When in actuality, it looked really, really good for what they were trying to do. And like Ryan Reynolds said, this is a movie where you can escape to a different world. And you really do. You really go to Oa and you love it.
And it was visually amazing. Like we said, just go to the theater, see it yourself, form your own opinion. That the movie definitely deserves your money.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you remember, but a while ago, around the time that Clone Wars, the animated series, was announced, George Lucas had said he was working on a PG-13 rated, like a little more intense Star Wars live-action, like soap opera.
Yeah.
Okay, right? I was excited about that. I think a lot of Star Wars nerds might have been excited about it too. It takes place in between, it was supposed to be in between Episode 3 and Episode 4, dealing with second-tier characters, with appearances by like top-level characters. I was so on board for it. Now, I thought that was the worst news I've ever heard, and apparently they have like 50 hours of scripts written down.
What I love is that like when you come with Star Wars news, you keep thinking it's the worst you've heard, and then they come out with something.
They come out with something worse. Like today, we just found out that the plans for the 3D revisions of the Star Wars saga have actually been changed. Originally, they were going to do all of them. All 6 movies in 3D. Now it's once a year, they're going to start it, and they're going to do it in order.
They're starting at 1. They're starting
at
at episode 1.
They're starting at The Phantom Menace, probably the greatest Star Wars movie ever made.
Hands
least. Down, the greatest Star Wars movie ever made.
Well, the thing is they want to release 1 a year to see how well received it is.
They're going to release Phantom Menace in 3D.
So you're going to start with Phantom Menace to see if it does well? Are you high?
Probably.
What
they
the
live in
hell?
Northern California, dude. That's where
Yeah.
Skywalker Ranch is at.
But I'm just saying, man, you're gonna start with episode 1.
Even like doing
In
a New Hope.
3D.
If you did a New Hope in 3D, you'd probably kill it. Like you
First
wouldn't
off,
be
it's
able to do
3D,
it.
so I'm already not
Yeah, I'm not on
interested.
board. I'm not on board. We had to deal with the Green Lantern in 3D. I had to deal with Thor in 3D on my bad, and that was a pain in the ass.
I just
but
don't, and there's no need for this. I almost hope it fails just so they decide, okay, cool, we don't have to put out the other 5
What's
in 3D.
gonna be cool about 3D? Sebulba spitting in 3D? That's not cool. Like the pod race might be cool. The battle for Naboo might be cool.
It's pointless to me. It's
But
so
really, I don't want Jar Jar
pointless to
stumbling
me.
around in 3D. That's pointless. They're gonna do some stupid Jar Jar gag.
I have.
George Lucas, what are you doing right now? Seriously.
I got nothing. I've
Give
got
me
nothing.
some more young Indiana Jones. That's what I want.
What's going on, guys? Brandon here. My pick this week is the new album from August Burns Red called Leveler. Oh my God, this is so good. It's just an awesome album from the first track to the last track. Also, if you can, pick up the deluxe edition because it comes with 4 other tracks that are redone versions of the songs on there, including an acoustic version, a piano, and a video game version. Really solid hardcore CD from beginning to end. I would suggest picking this up.
Hey nerds, Jasmine here with my pick of the week. It is the IMDb app because it's gotten really convenient with the smarter my phone has gotten, and I can pretty much just watch any movie trailer I want to. So if you don't have it, you should have it.
Hey guys, Bobby here with my pick of the week, and it's going to be another Netflix pick, Reaper. The first season was kind of iffy. It had no real conflict, and I mean, it was good. It was definitely fun to watch, but there was no conflict and nothing pulling you back the next week. Fortunately, there is a second season, and it implements an actual conflict between the devil and the main character, who happens to be his son. It's a story about a guy who turns 21 and realizes that his parents sold his soul when he was born. So when he turns 21, he has to start doing the bidding of the devil. It is very good. Check it out on Netflix.
Hey there, guys. It's me, Cubby, here with my pick this week. Now, I'm kind of a History Channel buff. I love it. I watch that stuff all the time. Jasmine actually recommended America, the Story of Us a while ago, and I totally got obsessed with it. My pick this week, though, is a different History Channel show. It's called The Universe. And it actually just started out as like a Morgan Freeman narrated like show, and now it's like this huge like couple season thing. It's on Netflix. Everything's on it, and they have really, really cool like science and physics breakdowns. So if you're into that, if you're into wondering and figuring out how like warp drives will work and stuff like that, you'll totally dig the show. And it's called The Universe.
All right, that's going to do it for episode 39 of Nerd Locker. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Check out nerdlocker.com for all your nerdy news and subscribe to our YouTube page.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jasmine.
And you guys have a nerdy week.